Purpose. We hear the word purpose and we say, I know that I have a purpose in life. I'm trying to find my purpose. And we know that purpose is supposed to be something that pushes our life forward, something that's altruistic and helps other people. But what happens when we put all of our energy and we invest it in one person in our life? What happens when we take our purpose and put it on them? Well, we lose our identity and we begin to lose ourselves. In this video, I'm going to discuss the 10 indications that reveal that we've actually placed our purpose on somebody else. Let's go. Hey friends, glad to be back today. And today I want to talk about purpose, but more specifically, I want to talk about the 10 indications that reveal that the BPD in our life has actually become our purpose. This video will be extremely revealing, and it's going to help you to understand some of the stressors and anxiety in your life. And so let's begin with the first indication. The first indication is that you think about them constantly, meaning that you're constantly diverting all of your energy and brain power and feelings onto them, okay? And when we're doing that, we're diverting our energy from other things in our life. We're not focusing on what our true purpose should be, and we're also not thinking about what we need to be doing to be mindful in our own life. The second indication is that you're constantly talking about them to your friends and family. And so when you're interacting with friends and family, this person is the topic of discussion all the time. I know that they're probably a little bit annoyed, or they're trying to help you or give advice, but at the same point, there's more to you than just this relationship, okay? There's more to you than them. And what happens here is that because you're talking about them constantly, you've literally sat back, you're on the sidelines of your own life, and you're trying to figure them out instead of actually dedicating the time you need to figuring yourself out. The third indication is that every one of their mood swings impacts you either extremely positively or extremely negatively, meaning that we get entangled and enmeshed in this other person's feelings and mood changes. Like every single atmospheric change that they have, we feel it. We feel it extremely. It's almost raw feeling to us, right? But the interesting thing is we have stopped really thinking about how we feel in the situation. We've almost absorbed how they feel. And so this is a real wake-up call, because if the other person's having extreme mood swings and you're actually changing and shifting based on those mood swings, you need to analyze your own feelings. So what's happened here is that their feelings and their mood swings have taken center stage, and you're just somewhat kind of living your life, but you're not really connected to your feelings, and you're not connected to how you feel about the situation. And you've allowed them to take over a lot of your mind share, but also their mood changes has actually taken over your day-to-day life. The fourth indication is that when you do not hear from them, your whole world starts to feel as though it's caving in on you, okay? And this is probably a really real feeling because you're so used to hearing from them. You get addicted to hearing from them. You get addicted to their text messages, right? Even if it's positive or negative, it's still very addictive. And so when you don't hear from them, it's like you can't focus, you're off balance, and everything seems to be really difficult. You might even have a trouble dealing with your day-to-day life or even focusing. The next indication is that when they are upset with you, you have a tendency of feeling overwhelmed, you can't focus on your day-to-day life, and you feel overly stressed out and sad, okay? So when they feel upset with you and they're showing you that they're angry at you or upset, you literally internalize all of that. And you feel as though you've done something wrong, you feel bad about it, you feel overwhelmed about it, and in that process, you can't think about anything else. So it makes going to work difficult, it makes doing your chores difficult, any sort of responsibilities, anything that you have to do outside of this relationship becomes almost impossible. It feels like you're walking uphill. The next indication is that when they are in a good mood, you are on cloud 9. Everything is great. When you have a great call with them on the phone, oh my gosh, it's like the world is amazing again. When they text you, the world is amazing. When you see them and they're happy with you, it's like you're giddy. And you're happy and you can't stop smiling and you feel so good and you feel like you're invincible and you can take on the world. The seventh indication, when they ghost you, you begin to feel helpless and you become a shell of a person. Okay, When they ghost you, well, why haven't they called me? Why haven't they texted me? I thought they were going to come by the house. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. You literally lose your entire self in what's happening, and you're trying to figure out why they're not communicating with you. You're probably calling up friends and family, asking them help, asking them for advice. You're feeling really lonely. You're feeling very sad. And this is literally taking over not only all of your emotional space, it's taking over all your brain and mental capability and space. And when this happens, you're waiting on bated breath for them to just reach out to you. And it's like once they finally do, it's almost like a breath of life is back into you. But in the process, you feel like you're dying. The 8th indication is that when they yell or argue with you, we have a tendency of what? We wrench it up to prove our story, to prove our side of it, or to prove our value. It's almost like we're trying to prove to them, and by proving to them and getting them to believe it, then we will actually believe it ourselves. Because if they're not happy with us, we don't know how to be happy. We don't have that within ourselves because we put that energy and we put that direction into creating them as our purpose. They are our value. You see what I'm saying? And so that's when we kind of lose sight of our reality because we put so much stock into what they feel that when they atmospherically change off and on, and it could happen within the next few hours, next few days, we literally go from cloud 9 to being completely devastated. The 9th indication, when they leave you, you are completely and utterly devastated and you can't stop thinking of them. It's not until they leave that you realize that you've defined yourself by them. You realize that you've been living through them, okay? Seriously, like literally waiting on bated breath. When they're happy, everything's great. You're happy, you're at the top of the world, you're feeling great at work, you're doing great, you're talking, you're socializing, life is good. When they are not happy with you, when they have left you, you literally think that you have lost your entire identity, your entire world, your entire life's purpose. You know, because think about it. When we're in this relationship, you have this purpose to make this work. I got to make this relationship work. This matters to me. I got to do this. I got to prove my value. I got to get them to see me in my value. Okay? You see how this has become purpose? It's a big deal because it's taken over our mind share. We've diverted all of our energy to it, and we've forgotten the fact that we are our own purpose. And the 10th indication, some of you have been through this multiple times. When they put you back on that pedestal, and you know what I'm talking about, you forget about all toxicity, you forget about all negative things that have happened in this relationship. All of a sudden it's like, oh, it's amazing. This is awesome. I can't believe this. I'm so happy. Oh, I love this person so much. But think about it. When they're putting you on the pedestal, you can do no wrong. All people do some sort of degree of wrong in their life. Nobody is perfect. So think about that. A lot of times when we're eating up that attention being on the pedestal, what is that kind of saying about us as well? It's saying that when somebody loves us and they hold us up this high, that we're great, we're wonderful, we're amazing. But what happens when they don't hold us up on that pedestal? What happens to our value then? Remember, value and purpose is very similar. And when we see this relationship as our purpose, and we see this person almost as our purpose, like our purpose to show them how much we love them and prove to them our value, we lose ourselves. It started in the very beginning on the pedestal. We needed that attention. We wanted it. We craved it so bad. And once we got it, it was like, oh my gosh, I've never had this before. This is amazing. This is out of this world. Well, it is out of this world because it's not able to be facilitated. It's not able to be consistent. And would you want it consistent? It's like you're asking somebody to do something that can't be done all the time. And also, it's a false sense of reality. Eventually, something's going to happen that's going to change. But if you're addicted to being on that pedestal and being seen through those eyes, we have to remember that that diverts ourselves from our own self-respect, our own self-acceptance, and our own self-value that directly relates to the unconditional love component that I've been talking about in many videos. The self-acceptance piece that I've been talking about in past videos as well. But remember, when we put all of our energy into this person, when we divert all our energy and we focus on that person, that's why it's so hard, is that they become our purpose in life. And that's just not right. And that's a lot to put on somebody. And that's why when they change moods, it hurts so bad, because they're the purpose. When they're not around, that's why it hurts so bad, because see, remember, when we do that, part of our purpose is to find our unconditional love for ourselves, which is really the biggest part of purpose there is. And then there's another part of purpose that is like helping other people as well, after we figure out how to take care of ourselves. And none of our purpose should be based on trying to have another person see our value, okay? Because if they don't see your value, what's the point? But think about that. No one other person should be your purpose. And let me give you an example real quick so I can drive it home. What happens a lot of times in our life is we meet somebody, right? We get married to them, we call them a spouse, right? We get married, that person becomes our purpose. We put all our love, all our dedication, all our energy into that person. And then a lot of times people have children, right? What happens when they have children? They move the purpose from the spouse to the child, right? And the child becomes purpose. But what happens when the child moves out and goes to college and is living their own life? All of a sudden, empty nesters, scared. The person that's put purpose on all these other people doesn't know who they are anymore. Who's their identity? What is their identity? Who are they? And see, the whole point about purpose is to build up ourselves and find our own self and figure out our own self-value and our own self-worth, which is the whole basis of purpose, and then find that unconditional love. And most of us never knew that that was important because our parents never told us, because our parents didn't know. See what I'm saying? When we put our purpose onto another person, we're missing the point of purpose. Purpose has to be here within us. And that's why when we're in a relationship, when someone else is dealing with their issues too, they need to deal with their issues, and you need to be able to deal with your issues and figure out who you are. And when we lose ourselves and we place purpose on the other person, they become what we look at constantly. They become who we are. And so when they change mood swings or they devalue, we ride out that wave, owning it as it's ours. But sadly enough, each time we do that, we get further and further away from who we are. I hope this video has inspired you to think maybe about your situation, or to share this with someone that you think might be going through this situation. As well as, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and you can also join the channel as well, and you can get more information on that by just clicking that join button right there, and you can kind of learn about what that offers. Oh, and by the way, in the comment section below, if you've been through this situation or you're currently living in this situation, have you thought about really taking back some of that energy and trying to refocus on you? And if you have, how difficult is it to do it while you're living in the situation? I'm interested in your feedback. Also, like the video if you do like it, and don't forget to live your true life.